Hello, my name is Mark Taylor and welcome to my Newbie Book Tag. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Mark Taylor and this is my Newbie Book Tag. So I've seen this done by a number of people, so I thought as this is my second video on my channel, I would decide to do this tag. Okay, there are a number of questions and I'll go through them one by one. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? I suppose I started this channel because I do have a book blog which has been running for a few years, and that's Nottsreader blog. I will link it down below, and it's where I've been reviewing books for about 2 to 3 years now. And over the years I think I've been watching booktube videos, and I think there are things that you can do on the booktube channel that you can't do on a book blog. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review books on both and use them as an interlinked process. So some books will review just on the book blog, and some types of things will work better on a YouTube rather than a book blog, and that's why I do those on the book blog. The second then, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to a booktube channel? Everybody brings their own experience to a booktube channel. We've all read different books, we've all had different experiences, and so I think the books that I've read have affected how I read, and the books I read now has affected my future reading. So just another different perspective onto the world of books. And also, I have a dad sense of humour. For example, I was in the library the other day and I said to the librarian, "Can I have a burger and chips please?" She looked at me and said, "This is a library." So I turned around and said, "Can I have a burger and chips please?" Yeah, that's the standard of the humour that you'll get on this BookTube channel. So the next question is what are you most excited for about this new channel? I suppose it's getting better, because even though I'm talking to a camera, I do feel a little bit insecure that I'm talking to this object that's one-eyed space monster sort of thing that's looking at me. But it's just to get used to that, learning new skills, editing and filming, as well as communicating with people about the world of books from all over, and people who just having different opinions and debating things with them in a hopefully a friendly manner and trying to see the other person's point of view. Why do you love reading? I suppose I'm an introvert. I don't have a lot of hobbies that involve going outside or doing things like that. I'm one of those people where the lockdown didn't affect their life that much. So I've always read, and also I do deal with some mental health problems, and I found out reading a book and talking about that book helps me deal with it, and it's also a gauge on how I'm feeling at any one time. The more settled I am, the more I read. What book or series got you into reading? I could list probably a load of them, some early in my life, some late in my life. But if somebody ever has asked me this, and somebody ever asked me my favourite book, I will say that I won't call it my favourite book, because like most readers, my favourite book will change from time to time. But the book that really got me into reading, and the book that if somebody really pinned me down on this, is Jack Higgins's The Eagle Has Landed. And what this is a story about a German parachute unit who come into England to kidnap Winston Churchill. Now, yes, it's a war thriller, but it's a bit more than that. You see the point of view from the other side, so you understand how the leader of the German paratroopers' mind works and where he's coming from. There's an IRA terrorist member there, Liam Devlin, and you see the world from his point of view. Now, this is fairly sort of unique sort of thing, because I would say formative years were the 70s and 80s, when the IRA troubles were not at the height, and also the movies on the TV were more German war movies, and the Brits always won, or the Americans always won, or the Allies always won. So you got that sort of thing, and the Germans were portrayed as caricatures. And this was the first novel that I'd read that gave me that sort of feeling that there is another point of view. And I think when books work at their finest, and particularly fiction, you can step into the mind of another person, whether that is somebody who's different gender, different opinions, different race, different nationality, all that are all different ages. And I think that is one of the greatest things about reading, is that it allows you to empathise with other people. And that's what got me into reading, and that's why I always say that it's The Eagle Has Landed by Jack Higgins. Question 6 is, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? Any tips? I think ask them what's the biggest tip they would give, anything they have learnt, what's the the mistakes, anything generally like that. And also talk to them and says what books do they like. Just general questions, asking them how they do this, what they do this, what they recommend, and the technical side as well. So basically anything and everything. I don't think it's one question to ask. I think there is a number of questions to ask, because I think when you see somebody who has more skills than you or a different thing than you, and you ask them questions, I think you can't limit yourself to one question. So it's a whole range of subjects, things like that. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? Finding places to time to video and things like that, and editing times that. My wife works from home most of the time due to the world situation, and so I don't get the living room to watch things, to record video, so this is why I'm recording it at night. So there's things like that, again, editing, basically anything that I've not done before to learn new skills, trying to work out how to analyse a book a bit more than say, yeah, I like it, this is good, find out why I didn't like it, but also retaining the enjoyment for reading. I don't want that to go. I want to still be enjoying reading on as much as now as I do on my 1000th video, or my any number of videos that comes, that I want to enjoy reading all the way through. When did you start reading? Books have always been around. I remember when I was younger going to a mobile library and getting books there. When I used to be a cub, I used to go to the library and then go into to the clubs on Tuesday. Books have always been around. Reading slightly sort of different. My reading age when I was 7 was lower than what it should be. However, my reading age when I was 8 was higher than it should be. The biggest difference was that is the type of stories that you get to read. I think reading books to learn to read, they were not very good. There was the people that may get over a certain age in the UK may know this. The Red Parrot, the Blue Parrot, and then there's a name of 2, a male and a female. I want to say Robert and Andy, and if you can just do anything now, that's my cat that's just come in and gone absolutely ballistic. Anyway, so yeah, I will put the names of the books there and show them. And it was basically just, the pirate books, for example, was this is a blue pirate, the blue pirate is standing up. They were very repetitive. But once I got into the 2 stories, so I'd got the basic blocks and could read stories, that's when reading for me clicked. And I remember reading about somebody who got trapped flying a balloon, Helen Keller, Formation of Brown, and various other things like that. These were all books, and it opened up a whole new world to me. So that's what, yeah. So I would say books always been around, but 7 and 8 by the time I became a reader and was able to read books. Where do you read? Well, there's a place where I read where I'm sat now. Okay, I sit here. I also sit on the sofa, in bed, on the bus, in a restaurant, in a cafe, anywhere I've got say 10-15 minutes where I've got nothing to do, travelling or anything like that, on my dinner hour, anything like that, I can sit and read. I don't like noise when I'm reading. I'm not one of those people who can switch off, so I do like sound. But if in a public area, I can read with music, but only if it's no words in it, and that word has sort of skipped my mind. But yeah, and there's no words, so there's no lyric. I can do that. So I sometimes listen to music with headphones on, mainly classical, or any instrumental. Yeah, instrumental, that's the word I was looking for. Anyway, so there's that. Or sometimes I will just put my headphones on and read. So I cuts out the sound, and people generally think, well, they've got me headphones. I'm not saying it's perfect, but yeah, that's how I start. What kind of books do you read? Which is the next question. Anything. I read thrillers, mysteries, cozy mysteries, war fiction, science fiction, women's or domestic fiction, the whole gamut. I started reading war and thrillers when I was a kid, then went on to spy novels, then went on to thrillers, so like the Da Vinci Code, things like that. Then, and in that time I read War and Peace. So basically anything and everything. I read a whole range of books. I think the biggest thing I've even read romance. The thing is a book, you find a book that you like and then you find another book that sort of covers a similar sort of subject in a slightly different way. So that if you can find a book, say if you like crime and you want to read historical fiction, then read a crime novel set in an historical period. Then you are sort of getting two bites of the cherry. You read some of that, then you sort of get used to the context of how an historical novel works, and then you can read other subjects, historical novels around that subject. So that's how I've expanded my reading. I've taken a little leap to go from a book that I would read that's set in a different sort of area, and then read those around there, and then sort of expanded to reading those novels fully. And that's sort of how I've sort of expanded. But yeah, I read everything, and sort of anything, you name it, I'll give it a go, at least once. The final question is, what does your book collection look like? I'm trying to think where it is. Just a second, I will get my book collection. Okay, so I've got my book collection. It's here. It's an e-reader. I have a number of books in here, and this allows me to read at night when there's no light. So it's got a light, it's portable to carry, it doesn't matter what book I read. So that's the reason why I use an e-reader. So yeah, so as it says, that's my Newbie Book Tag. Okay, all the links to the books down there I've mentioned, or some of the books I've mentioned there, because I think I've gone through quite a few books I've mentioned. I'll put down there. I will put any images up there on the page when talking about the book, and I will also put links down and all things down there in the description box below. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon with my next video.